Hello, everyone, and welcome to SAP Industries Live, Leading with Innovation, an ongoing series exploring how different industries are adapting and transforming in the wake of unprecedented changes. My name is Bob Evans, and I'm the founder of Cloud Wars Media. I am thrilled to be the moderator for the SAP Industries Live series. And today's event will focus on construction, achieving project delivery excellence in the cloud. Unfortunately, one of our speakers, Vince Siemens from the Tomlinson Group, had a family emergency and is unable to be with us today. But since this is a live event and all of you have carved time out of your busy schedules to join us, we've decided that the show must go on. And we have two excellent speakers with deep expertise and unique perspectives on this subject. From the partner side, Sana Salam is CEO of Sodales Solutions, which has developed an industry cloud solution for construction safety. And from SAP, Aasawari Kakade is industry director for the construction and real estate business unit. While every industry has been rocked over the past year, the construction industry has faced some unique challenges as it needs to push forward very physical work in an increasingly digital economy. In this session, we'll explore how construction firms are overcoming these disruptions to enable them to reduce risk, improve productivity, delight customers, and maximize profits. Our expert speakers are eager to share these and other insights, how industry-specific solutions are becoming essential for construction, the benefits of innovating in the cloud in a fast-paced and complex business, and how to accelerate time to value with your technology investments. And we encourage all of you to join in the conversation by submitting questions and comments via the chat function on your screen. So, Aasawari, you speak to many construction customers about their challenges and requirements. Tell us about their top-of-mind priorities these days.
Sure, Bob, and thanks again for having us. Having been in this industry for a very long time, I hear about a lot of different challenges, everything from manual processes, from information silos, you name it. And really, if I had to kind of boil it down to a few key points that our customers tell me about, number one is really about, companies are looking to improve construction productivity. And unfortunately, and many of the folks in the construction industry in the audience will know this, it's been stagnant over the last 50 years in this industry. If you compare us to, industries like manufacturing. So we have a lot of work to do here. And the second area is, construction companies are really just looking to deliver their projects on time and on budget and do this while overall managing that construction project risk. As you may know, the construction industry is a very low margin industry. So managing that project risk is the most important thing they can do, because that one bad project can have a huge financial impact on these construction companies. So they have a lot to worry about. So, of course, with all of these dynamics and key things that they need to focus on, project collaboration is critical across the value chain for the construction industry to truly be successful. So that when I talk about collaboration, that's that internal collaboration inside of your company, as well as that external collaboration, working together to make sure you're truly managing that project risk. And this is across the entire value chain. So, from the moment you get that project, right where you staff that project, to when you're procuring materials from your suppliers, all the way through project execution and closeout. So typically when we first start to have these conversations with companies, a lot of the things I hear about are, these companies are using a myriad of solutions, across the different parts of the value chain to manage these different unique business processes. But what's happening is they're typically stitched together with very complex integrations. And, as you can imagine, that comes with its own set of challenges, and not just for IT, but really for the business, because they're looking to have visibility and real-time visibility into those projects to make smart business decisions. And it's very difficult to do that when you don't have, information flowing in a digital fashion from the field where the action is really happening back to the back office. So they have a lot to deal with. But again, it comes down to managing that overall project risk.
Yeah, Aasawari, I think, you outlined that beautifully there. And I think there's a number of challenges that are taking place, but it just seems like in the construction industry, as in every industry these days, you've not only got these traditional challenges, but it's almost like the pace of change has accelerated so dramatically that these things have to be dealt with and overcome in a very short period of time. So could you tell us a little bit about how SAP feels that it has a unique capability to help them pull all those various elements that you described together in a way that allows them to move faster than they've ever moved before?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we believe that it's truly important in order to help our construction industry customers. We believe it's important to provide an impact at all parts of that industry value chain. So I'm sure SAP is known for our finance and our core capabilities and project management, but we believe that we can provide value at every step of the way across the construction value chain. And to truly help our customers do that, we've developed what we're calling our industry cloud strategy, where we're leveraging our SAP Business Technology Platform, so our cloud capabilities, to provide innovations to our customers in a much faster pace than ever. And we're working with great partners like Sana, who's on here with us today, as well as many others, to truly do that together in the fastest way possible, where we can, understand what's happening in the industry and quickly develop solutions to solve for these challenges. And this way, our customers can use that one single platform to support processes across the value chain and also take advantage of process automation and intelligence to truly improve that operational efficiency. But, that's a lot of ideas and concepts. I really want to bring this to life for our customers that are, living this day-to-day basis. An example, something sort of a big problem the construction industry deals with is managing that equipment and tools that's required to, execute on any construction project. And in the past, we used to have an equipment management solution, which was good. It was a very strong solution. But we know that with the influx of millennials coming into the workforce, we needed to make sure we provide that amazing user experience, those cloud capabilities, that offline capability. So in order to support this need that was shared with us by our advisory council members, a group that we work with, that share with us what's happening in the industry, what we did was we worked with our partner called Bearing Point, and we together co-innovated and built out the solution called ETM.Next. And the solution is, kind of that next generation equipment management, equipment and tools management solution that's fully integrated into finance, to project management, but that beautiful user experience and cloud capabilities that's going to be pleasing to even the youngest of the workforce that's joining this industry. So that's just one example. I can go on, but I know we only have a short time together.
Well, Aasawari, let me just ask you one other thing about that. The construction industry, as you've said, it's got a lot of moving pieces all the time anyway, right? Even just handling the physical aspects of it. So if you take that back, as you described, a lot of point solutions, a lot of fragmented things, then they've also got to become information technology experts, right? Where they tie all these different pieces together. So I think what you've described about the industry cloud, a single platform, a single set of solutions that are woven together, can be a real accelerator to help these companies get to that faster time to value, right?
Absolutely. What we want to avoid for our customers is it's a lot of the times when you're trying to do something in this industry, everything needs to be interconnected. So if you're constantly disrupting your core ERP, your finance and other areas, it's going to be really difficult for any organization to implement that change. So what we wanted to do is provide these capabilities in a cloud so basically it's modular, so you can tap into them as needed and really provide the innovation at a much faster pace than ever, and which is why we're doing it this way. So rather than putting all the innovations into our core ERP, we wanted to provide this in a modular fashion, and it's much faster to implement, much faster to consume, and customers can see that ROI much faster than ever before without disrupting the business. And it's just easier from a change management perspective as well for our customers.
Yeah. So Sana, Aasawari mentioned the critical role that partners are playing, and certainly your company, Sodales, you've developed a construction safety solution here within the industry cloud. Talk to us a little bit about, that interplay with SAP and how you're able to provide some unique value as well, using the cloud as an accelerator.
Yes, very good. Well, thank you, Bob. Good morning. So a couple of things I want to first mention before I talk about the solution is that we looked at the SAP Business Technology Platform before we even began to build our solution for the construction. And the reason for that is that we actually didn't know how much flexibility we are going to need customer by customer, even within the same industry. When you look at construction, there's actually 5 generations working on one project at a time. So it starts from traditionalists to baby boomers, and then there's generation X, Y, and Z. So all 5 of them are actually dealing with the same technology. Now add more complexity to the model of construction today, and you add joint ventures, subcontractors, and even companies who are working on the same project with their competitors. And so with that added complexity, first thing we heard from our customers was that they actually want to build specialized expertise out in the field very, very quickly. So because construction is a very specialized area. So to do that very, very quickly with this big inflow of young workers who are joining their force and these giant projects that have a new model, they need solutions that already have those embedded practices built out into the product. Yet they also need the ability to add their own unique innovations on top of it. So here's what we did to achieve that. The first thing we did is we do have a safety solution which has industry-specific compliance already built out. Construction is one of them. And with that, we have all the data inputs, whether it comes to their daily safety talks, job site inspections, project safety, site safety, people safety, behavioral safety, which ties safety back to rewards and disciplines. It's already built out. The process is already built out. But on top of that, by using the SAP Business Technology Platform, we are allowing customers to further innovate on it. So we have customers who have actually taken that solution and then embedded the SAP Business Technology Platform IoT capabilities, and then embedded that back into the safety hats. So they can actually have notifications if there is an issue with the safety hats. There's also thermal related innovations that they have brought on top of it. So the flexibility is there. In addition, what we found in the industry within construction, there is a big focus right now to bring zero site safety goal. And it's one of the goals. If you go on any website of any construction sector organization, you will see one of their vision and goal is to actually have zero incident safety and sites. So to do that, they're enabling programs, a lot of programs, and those programs are touching their customer service, they're touching their production sites, they're touching their anything to do on the equipment side. So to achieve that, the BTP, SAP Business Technology Platform, already has a lot of connectors that can actually work with those tools. So what a customer can do is utilize an innovation, which is part of the industry cloud, such as our solution, and then use those connectors to quickly enable all those downstream process innovation as well. So there's an end-to-end process innovation that they can achieve, not just by using a partner product like us, but can also add their own innovations on top of it. So it really gives them a holistic approach. In addition, because the embedded practices of the process are already embedded into the product or the solution, they can be very free, because they can really easily train those new employees very, very quickly on the technology as well. So that's what we have seen in our experience.
Yeah, Sana, that's great to hear. And I guess, one of the takeaways from what you described there is it allows a construction firm to spend more time being a construction firm and doing what it does, and less time trying to figure out how to be an IT factory that pulls all these complex pieces together.
Exactly. I think previously, so there's actually a benefit in being an IT factory too, because what it allowed them to do is really build solutions that worked for them, and that was needed too. So when we go to customers, they have these amazing innovations they built themselves, but the problem with this is that they have lots and lots of silo systems. And yes, they have become an IT shop, and that they actually have some really great skill set in-house as well. But now because the industry itself is changing, those products are not talking to each other. So it's working against them, actually. So I think with this, the industry cloud approach, the process innovation allows them to connect everything together and start looking at those silo systems, and then start transitioning as they need to, as opposed to just taking it as a big, mega, giant project. They can actually take advantage of mini innovations or agile innovation that I call, and just focus on a micro process and take one step at a time.
Yeah, Sana, that's great. And Aasawari, one of the things that I do at CloudWars Media is looking at a lot of the big tech companies. I think industry cloud is going to be one of the hottest trends in 2021. There's just so much more value, it seems, that customers are able to harness from this. So could you talk a little bit about what you think are the main ways in which the SAP Industry Cloud can help companies in the construction industry?
Sure. Yeah. Happy to, Bob. And it's great to hear. And thanks for the great addition, Sana. So I'm first and foremost, I'm really pleased to share that, when we share this information and this concept of industry cloud with our advisory council at SAP, which is a group of our customers, the feedback has truly been positive. And I wish Vince was here to share that with our audience today, but unfortunately he could not. But really what we're finding that rather than adopting the various niche solutions that are out there in the market, to cover each of the different business areas, and as you both said, stitching them together with the complex integration and not focusing on their core business, we're enabling customers to take advantage of these pre-built innovations like what, Sodales from Sana's offered, just mentioned, with the SAP Business Technology Platform. And this methodology is giving our customers new capabilities faster than ever before. And really the key part of this is that integration continues to remain seamless back to the ERP versus, having to stitch together each of these solutions, for the different business areas they're trying to solve for in a manual, inefficient way. So having it all together on a technology stack continues to give them that real-time project visibility that's critical to managing that project risk I was mentioning earlier.
Well, Aasawari, it's interesting. I know while Vince couldn't be here for this actual event, in our previous discussions with him, I was really struck by his comments about the shift in time. And he said things that used to take months and months and months were pushed down to weeks, and in some cases even days. He said, allowing then Tomlinson Group to be able to devote more time and energy toward innovation, toward delighting their customers, toward managing risk and all those other things. So I think this issue about how, as Sana described it, right, the industry solutions, they're all woven together. You can apply those skills of your own IT factory toward things like innovation, toward transforming your processes, toward transforming your business models in some cases, rather than relatively low value work of tying together point solutions and trying to pull all the data together from all these different silos. So, Sana, if I could, I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about that. The areas in which, customers now are demanding that their tech providers help them move faster, find new ways toward innovation. What do you hear in your work at Sodales with some of these construction industry companies?
Yes, very good question. I will say first one thing is that often they think innovation. Let's just first define what innovation means to a lot of these customers. Often for if you look at the industry, innovation like tech industry, innovation can be always like people label buzzwords, AI, mobile, big data. Like people have all these, and I mean, I blame myself for it as well. But we use all these technical words, and it can be so overwhelming. So that's the first thing that I noticed is that innovation has to be redefined for construction industry. When I look at or any other industry that is really in a high growth stage and facing challenge as well. We found that process innovation, business model innovation is actually becoming the new area where they're really focusing on. So what we're hearing now is that they want to find a fast way to get a lift and shift first. For example, they might have 10 different homegrown systems with highly specialized knowledge without compromising that specialized knowledge and specialized expertise in the product that they have built by themselves. They still want to, first of all, modernize the solution, bring it all together so they have a great process working for themselves. So it could include maybe they have built a time map on their own. Maybe they have built a projects related tool for their project billing or project structure. They want to now streamline all of it. So first is to bring that to a level which is a foundation for them to now do further innovation. And I call it, in their cases, next step is really the business model innovations. What you've seen here is we have actually some customers who once they went through the first journey and they were able to do it in just a matter of months to do the entire transformation, including HR and finance. They then looked at the business model innovation. And in here, what they did was actually built a product of their own using technology. And that product is basically a learning app specific for construction. They were able to offer that to other construction sector companies in their sector, because now they have streamlined processes in a way that they can actually make IT a revenue generator, not just a cost center. So IT and HR, they actually have a very big responsibility as well now to be the rock star. And so once they take it to the next level, they can actually generate revenues and not just be looked at someone who is taking on some budget to build some systems. It's a really different way of looking at things. We have another customers, we're so proud of them. They're building a time app that they can actually sell to other construction companies as well with their expertise. And with that, they will be able to also drive more revenue for themselves through IT and technology knowledge. And that's all possible through business technology platform of SAP, because it's giving them those agile tools that allow them to do that.
Sana, those are some great examples. And Aasawari, if I could, I'd like to ask you about that. That was interesting how Sana said in some ways technology can help these customers become rock stars as they innovate. And what was just a company that consumed technology from tech companies can now become providers and creators of technology as well. Are you seeing that the role of purely being a customer now also shifts into being a creator of solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're starting to have more and more of those types of conversations, like Sana mentioned, where customers are looking to co-innovate with SAP and figure out, how can they take what they've built together with us and provide a greater value to the larger industry and community, their peer community, basically. So we're having more and more of those conversations, and it's really kind of shifting the way that this business model has worked over the past many years in this industry. But the great thing is, and I know Sana gave that example with one of our customers are able to, they don't have to rely and wait on us, right? Because we're providing them that toolkit, if you will, to build that innovation. They can work with great partners like Sodales. They can do this innovation on their own in a much faster way than ever before. So I think they can even start to create those incremental revenue streams just on their own. We have one example of a customer, of course, not at liberty to disclose any names, but they're starting to build out capabilities to manage. They're managing infrastructure projects, and they're building out analytics and capabilities for their customers. So they're providing it as a value add that they've created for their customers to improve satisfaction and give them that competitive advantage because they have the toolkit to be able to do that so quickly.
And does that then change sort of the nature of the relationship, Aasawari, that you can have with your customers, where they don't look at it's just SAP, okay, I have to pay them money to get a software solution, but in fact, I can help gain their expertise to help me become a revenue generator or open up new revenue streams?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't want that traditional vendor supply relationship, right? Our goal is to be a long-term strategic partners. I mean, typically, at least, when I go into customer conversations, we want to talk about the big picture first. There's lots of little problems we're going to always continue to solve, but we want to think about, where is this organization planning to go in the next 5 years or 10 years? What is the big vision? What is the CEO trying to achieve? And, after those conversations, we can sit down and do things like design thinking sessions together to truly figure out, what's the best approach. Do we look at existing technology to solve business challenges? Do we look at co-innovation approaches to do something new and different that's really going to give that a customer the edge? So definitely it opens up a lot of possibilities for us.
Yeah. Son, if I could, I know that one of the points that you wanted to be sure to talk about was, as you've mentioned, and as Aasawari just went through, there's a lot of things that technology company could talk about with a construction company in these going through their priorities and understanding and so forth. You brought up an interesting question sometimes, right? Like construction companies, their operations are complex enough, their challenges are high enough, the demands, the deadlines, and so forth. Where do they get started, or how do they figure out what's the right place to get started as I move into this, the digital economy via the cloud?
Yes, very good question. Okay, so first, I think it's a great question. So I'm going to answer this twofold. The first is that when we talk about innovation or process innovation or model innovation, sometimes it can be very overwhelming and daunting because it seems like it's going to be a very large project. So I have to go to my board. I have to ask for money. I have to take out my billable resources from the field, bring them in a room, and who's going to have time for that? We have so many other things to do. This is something we hear from customers a lot. And because of that, it's actually taking them very long to get started. However, with the industry cloud, I think this is something that can actually resolve the situation because they can get started very, very quickly. They can actually look at any of the homegrown system, which is really outdated, yet is a very critical part of their overall business process, and begin to first quickly lift and shift that into the industry cloud because there's already pre-built industry-specific solutions that can give them that one-to-one match, or if not, they can give them some innovation capability where they can recreate that capability very, very quickly within the industry practices. So this is the first place to look at, really look at those homegrown systems that are giving you a lot of pain. And this is where I want to pick up on Aasawari's comment on the modular products. You don't have to wait for a big project. You can start with one particular module that's with that pain for you. And then secondly, what they can do is they can then add on the remaining areas. And as they show results, they also get the capability to get alignment from their sponsors, from their leadership, in terms of having additional budget to start and doing more things in this area. Another thing that they can look at is just mini processes. I really like to say zero into our process and find that process where that is that can be quickly improved. For example, in our case, when you looked at safety, we found that in a lot of these companies, the work that they do on daily basis and on the field, that's where they actually needed the most help, not in the area which are more on the, you can say, the safety core teams work, which is around incident management and site safety. They actually needed people safety first. So this is where they can actually use a module from our solution and quickly enable that and then quickly connect it to their core processes. So the idea is to just nail down or zero into that specific process if you want to, and then see what you want to do with there. And don't feel overwhelmed about it because you might not need those resources from your field who are really busy with their projects to actually work on, to get this innovation ready for you.
Yeah, Sana, that's a good point, about the perspective there. And I think that's reflected some in a question that we just got from one of our friends in the audience, from Wayne. Wayne asks, will the construction industry execs listen? So
and maybe I can take that, Bob. So that's a great point. So one thing to keep in mind, right? In order for any kind of change or introduction of new technology or any kind of change in your organization to be successful, you need buy-in from the top. This has nothing to do with technology. This has everything to do with just general change management in your organization. Some of the biggest success stories I've seen from a change perspective have been where the CEO and the chairman of the board, all of these key stakeholders have been fully engaged in what the committee is trying to do. Because think about it this way, if you don't have everyone from the top level management to all of your employees moving in the same direction, it's really hard to do anything, right? Technology or not. So in order to truly be successful, it's important to have that executive buy-in and really move together in one direction as a company, as opposed to, different priorities and in different directions.
And I would add to that. I would say that lead by example. So we have customers where their team started with literally 30 users. Only for this small group, I will show results. And that group did so well that became the business case for the executives to actually listen. So how Aasawari said earlier, we don't have to start big. You can start small as well, not just in terms of the module, but it's in terms of the scale of your innovation adoption as well. So it could be even just a side. But because we are all going to be on the same technology anyway, which is a flexible platform, it will not make you to do more rework later on. So for that reason, I think by showing results with a smaller set of improvement can really become a business case for something big.
And one thing I'll add, Bob, just to kind of wrap up that question, because Wayne asked a good one, right? How do you get them to listen? One other great way is get them to talk to their industry peers. There are other companies out there who are doing all of this very successfully. So just talking to them, hearing that success story and learning the best practices is the best way to do it. We often connect many of our customers together to share these best practices, and they find those conversations to be quite valuable. So that's another great way to get your executives to listen.
Yeah. Aasawari and Sana, I think, one broad comment I'd offer on this as well is it sounds like many of the things that you're describing here will ultimately close the gap from what seems to exist, at least in some construction companies, that they have IT over here and what they call the business over here. There's sort of separate worlds operating sometimes on different planes or with different agendas. And I think the more tightly those two groups can become integrated so that the IT organization doesn't feel like it's outside the business, but instead is a key part of it. That also, I think, is going to help accelerate some of the timetables here. And as each of you has just eloquently said, help to allow the entire organization to look at these things in a single view rather than fragmented across, some different perspectives there. So maybe that's a way forward too in the construction industry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. And I'm kind of smiling as you're saying this because, sometimes we do see it's like a war zone, IT versus business. And that becomes quite a challenge really for both parties, right? How do you move forward towards that one vision, which is making your organization more successful if all of the parts are not working together cohesively. So really, we hope that, having been in this industry for so long, we hope that business sees IT truly as an enabler and kind of helping them achieve that operational efficiency as opposed to anything else. They're really there to help the business make their lives easier and operate more successfully. So I hope we continue to have that cohesive relationship to be successful together.
And Sana, you had pointed out the fact that, in some cases, these sort of innovations here are allowing the organizations to become revenue generators. And I think, you want a sure invitation for the, so-called business leaders to embrace the IT folks. You bring some revenue to the table, we'll be happy to have you.
Absolutely. I think that's a big one. Another one is, I do want to mention with the cloud versus the on-prem world, one of the big things that has happened is that maintaining these innovations, which was also a really big giant responsibility of IT, has become easier, and actually business teams with their business knowledge can also maintain, change, and innovate further on their own. So I think that is another reason IT and business, you can say, gap is coming together and closing. And yet, if we are also tying those goals and innovations with certain revenue models or other company goals, then it really becomes easier to work together because we have common goals as teams, whether IT or business.
Yeah.
And maybe just to add to that, Bob, one thing, it's a great point because cloud is really shortening that time to value for our customers. And Sana, you talked earlier about, how you want to make our customers look like rock stars, shortening that time to value and delivering results faster than ever, instead of, 2-year implementations, we're talking about just months to say, hey, I set out this goal. Here's how we achieved it with technology, makes everyone look like a rock star. So the cloud is really giving us that acceleration that we've been looking for.
Yeah, Aasawari, that's a great point. And if I could, I want to just sort of leverage that as we begin to wrap up. So it sounds like for each of you, Sana and Aasawari, you've laid out some great thoughts about the challenges the construction industry faces. You've offered some good examples about innovation and how progressive companies in this field are doing things differently, achieving better financial outcomes, delighting their customers, managing risk more effectively. And I think changing the culture of the company where people across the organization feel like I can make a difference here. It's not going to take 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years. I can do things pretty rapidly here. So Aasawari, could you just sort of summarize what you think some of the specific benefits to construction industry companies are with Industry Cloud?
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. And we've touched on a lot of these points over the last little while. So if I have to summarize, the big thing we're trying to achieve is give our customers that the industry specific capabilities. Construction is a very unique industry. And I'm sure when you speak to customers, you'll hear them say that quite often. So we want to give them that deep industry specific capability, but at the same time, that flexibility to innovate and add new capabilities with this Industry Cloud offering that we have available for our customers. And we want to be able to give those solutions faster than ever. And we talked a lot about that. And the needs of the industry will continue to change. So we're giving our customers that ability to pivot as required with this platform in order to continue to meet the changing demands of the industry. And this also enables a different business model where they're able to consume innovation without disruption, which I know is very important to most businesses, right? I don't want to interrupt my operations. I need the business to continue to running as it does. But at the same time, I need to make sure I'm giving them more and giving them the ability to operate better than they used to. So this is a great way to do that in the cloud with this Industry Cloud offering. And last but not least, and I know, Sana, you touched on this earlier, we're able to give you kind of the technology, the framework, the capabilities across the entire value chain on one single technology stack, but making it available to our customers in a modular fashion. I think that's really going to be key to adopt these innovations faster than ever. So we're truly excited about the possibilities, and we look forward to working with many industry customers out there.
Well, Aasawari and Sana, thank you so much. This has been great. You've offered some wonderful perspectives and I think given everybody a lot to think about. So thank you so much for your contributions here. And also, certainly. And in particular, I want to be sure to thank all of you who've taken time out of your busy days to spend time with the SAP construction industry team, the partner from Sodales, and from everybody at SAP. We want to say thanks to all of you for this. If anyone would like to learn more about how SAP can support the needs of the construction industry, please contact Aasawari at aasawari.kakade@sap.com, or feel free to connect directly with her here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for being part of this session of SAP Industries Live. We hope to see you again. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you very much, Bob and Sana. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.